In this video, you will learn how to retopologize a face as well as a head. You will also learn how to connect a retopologized head to a body. You will learn how to do the retopology for ears as well. In this tutorial, I try to not only explain what I'm doing, but why I'm doing what I'm doing. So thanks for taking a look at this tutorial, and I hope that you enjoy it. Hi, this is Ali Arango, and today I'm going to show you how to do head retopology in Blender 3.6. So let's get started. What you see in front of you is the result from another tutorial. I'll put a link in the description so you can get to that tutorial. Okay, one of the things you want to have turned on with this tutorial is you want to go to Edit, Preferences, then go to Add-ons. Make sure that you have the add-on turned on for Mesh F2. Make sure you have the add-on turned on for Loop Tools. You can search for these in the preferences. Make sure that you also have the View add-on turned on as well. Okay, I'm going to hover here, hold Shift, press B, then draw a zoom box to zoom into the face. Okay, so we're zoomed on the face. I'm going to go to Object Mode, and what I'm going to do is, in Object Mode, you want to make sure you have your 3D cursor in the center of your scene. If you don't have the 3D cursor in the center of your scene, you can press Shift-C, and that will make it go to the center. I'm going to go to Front View, right? So I clicked Front. This is here because of one of the add-ons I told you to activate in the User Preferences. Anyway, with this here, currently we are in front orthographic mode. If you look to the upper left, you can see we're in orthographic mode. Orthographic mode is kind of like a blueprint mode. Anyway, the 3D cursor is important because where the 3D cursor is at is where objects tend to come into Blender at. So we're going to hold Shift, press A. We're going to bring in a plane. We're going to press R, then X, then 90 to flip the plane so we can see it. I'm holding the middle mouse button to rotate the view. I'm going to push this forward like that. I'll hold the middle mouse button to rotate the view back. For us to have an easier way to work with this, I'm going to click on this. Currently, see how like this is looks strange there. Currently I have that set for in front, so I'll actually turn that off. I'll click back on here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to Edit Mode. I'm going to go to Vertex Select. Up near the top, we have a Vertex Edge as well as Face Select. I'll select this Move tool, move this to the side. And the reason why I'm doing this is I want to start the head retopology with this vertex. So I'll select here, hold Control, press I to invert that selection. Then I'll press X and then choose vertices to delete everything but that one vertex we had selected. Okay, for us to work easily with doing the head retopology, what we want to do is look to the upper left. See this magnet? This magnet activates snapping. We'll click there. Click the arrow next to this square, right? You want to make sure you're on Face Project. You can turn on all of these options right here. And what this is going to do is this is going to allow the one vertex that we're currently working with to snap to the face. So to have this initially snap to the face, I'll press G, and now that vertice, or yes, is snap to the face. So what I'm doing is I'm aiming this towards the corner of the eye. Okay, before we go further, I'm going to go to the Modifier tab. I'm going to add a mirror modifier. So what we do on this side will be done on the other side. For the mirror object, I'm going to click this to set the mirror object. I'll click this eyedropper and I'll select the head itself. And then to see the mirror working, I'll click here. Okay, in our mirror modifier, we're going to make sure we turn on clipping. So what we're going to do is select this vertex, drag this down towards the lower part of the nose. Now I'm going to hold Control. When I hold Control and then right click, I can extrude what I have currently selected, which is a vertex. So now there's the extrusion. As far as the general face topology, I like to do 3 on the top and then 3 on the side. It's how I tend to think when I'm working with things. Hopefully this will make more sense to you as we go along. So I'm going to do hold control, right click right. So not including this, I'm going to do 3 down to the edge of the mouth. So I'm still holding control. 1, 2, 3. Then I start counting again. 1, 2, 3 towards the center of the face. Okay, with edge select on, I'm going to push this geometry towards that geometry, this geometry towards that geometry. I'm then going to select here, hold control. I purposely go up and out to the side so I don't overlap at first, so I can manually push these lines together. Okay, so with edge select on, we're going to select the side here. I'm going to hold control and then do 3 to the edge of the eye. 1, 2, 3. And then 3 on top. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what we're going to do now is push this towards itself. Click here. Push that towards itself. Okay, I'm going to go to object mode. I'm going to select the hair. Press H to hide the hair. Click here. Press H to hide that. Click here. Press H to hide that. I'll click back on the face and then go back to edit mode. Okay, right here, what I'm going to do is hold control, press R, this puts the loop cut in on the nose. I'm going to hold shift as well as the middle mouse button to pan up. All right, so what I'm going to do now is go to vertex, select. I'm going to select this vertex here, hold shift, press D. Move this over here like that. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do 3. So 1, 2, 3. So I made 3 edges. And then I'll do 1, 2, 3. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to edge select, select here, press G to drag this to the side. Click here, press G. Here, press G just to give some more space. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to sorry, my brain. I'm gonna right click to go up, and then I'm going to hold control. And basically, what I'm doing is looking at this here, and I'm pretty much matching the vertices that I put down. So now with that done, I'll hold here, hold shift, press F to fill. Now I'm going to click here, and because I have that set up, when I have this edge selected and press F, Blender will automatically, when it sees 4 vertices, it'll fill in. So I'll press F, 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 F. Okay, what we're going to do is push this towards itself, push this towards itself. And now we're going to just see how we have this line here and we have this line here. So what we'll do is I'm going to hold shift, then select here, press F to join those together. And now what I'll do is I'll click here and then press F, F, F. And now that geometry is filled in. Okay, I'm going to select here, hold shift, select here, press F. We're going to put a loop cut right here. This loop cut we're going to continue over like this. So what we can do here is we'll click right here, press F, and then push this towards itself like that. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to click here and then hold control, then right click. I'm going to go to vertex select. What I'm going to do is hold control and basically look at all of these and kind of match up what I'm doing here. We want this to form its own loop. So with that done, we should be able to press F, 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 F. And what's important about what's going on here is there's a loop here, there's a loop here, there is the loop here. These loops are very important. So one of the things when you're doing a topology is you want to fill in the face and have the shapes follow the shape, and we'll adjust this later on. However, you want to be very careful as you're working to have the loops in the correct places that they should be in. One of the ways you can tell that your loops are going right is if you hold Control. I don't want to put a loop cut in now, but see how that loop is going around? So basically what you can do is you can check your loops to make sure they're going in a different direction. And the reason why these loops are important is specifically when you're dealing with, you're planning to have your character's face move. You want to have these loops where they are flowing in a circular direction. Okay, I'm going to hold the mouse button and rotate. We're going to select, we're going to look here, we'll push this down. Okay, this, all right, that's good. All right, so what we're going to do from here is we're going to adjust things so that from here, we'll go from here. I'm going to actually hold Control and click here. Control, use the shortest path technique. So basically I have this edge here and this, I have this space purposely left here. So now what I do is I want to press E to extrude and then press S to stretch this out. I'm going to press S to scale on the Y-axis 0 to flatten that line out. Okay, we want to fill in this area. We're going to grab this and move this to give some space. We're going to hold Control, press R, hold Control, press R. So with that done, we'll select here, hold Shift, then press F. We'll select here, then press F, and then F. Okay, so we're going to select here, hold Control, right-click, right? We're going to hold Control, then right-click again. For this part here, I'm going to press R to rotate this. What I want is two faces on the top, one on the side, basically. Come down again. I'll press R to rotate, and then I'll select to connect this up. So we have this area around the ear now. So with this, we need to fill in this geometry. So we'll put a loop cut here. This you kind of look for what you need and then fill it in. So I'll press F. Okay, we're going to turn our attention to the nose. I'm going to hold the mouse button. See how this line right here aims towards the corner of the eye? You want to go to the left of that. I'm going to hold Control, press R right there. Zooming in so we can see better. I'll click here, hold Control. That let me extrude there. I'm going to go to Vertex Select. I'm going to select here. I'm going to match up these vertices that I'm about to make with the these loops as we go around. So I'm holding Control. Control, snapping is currently turned on. Be aware of that. And then we're going to put a loop cut here. We did that so we could have a face here. So I'm clicking, being aware that snapping is on, right? So I'm moving this. I wanted to make a loop that connects up to here. So I'm grabbing these to make sure that they're snapping to the face, right? So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to set up so that once we have this filled in, this will be able to make a correct loop. So what we'll do is click here. We'll select F, 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 hold Shift, and then press F. Okay, as strange as that looks, what we can do now is readjust things here. All right, so we need something for this to go into. So what we're going to do is hold Control, press R, right? So now what we can do is we can select here, whoops, hold Shift, select here, then press F. Now we can select here, hold Shift, then press F to fill that in. Okay, I'm going to hold Control, put a loop here. And then what we can do is grab the geometry that we have here. To have this match up better, which is what I'm doing now. Okay, what we're gonna also want to do is we're gonna select here, very similar to what we did with the eye. I'm gonna press E to extrude, pull this out. I'm gonna select here, so what I want to do is very similar to what I did before. Here, I'm going to click here, press F, F, and this is giving me 4 faces very nicely and quickly. Now when we come to here, this part, we're going to hold Control like that, then hold Shift and then select F to connect that eye like that. Okay, now when I'm setting these things up, one of the things I'm trying to do is have these loops flow. So when I hold Control, see how the loop goes there, I'm not going to left click, that will lock it in. I don't want that, I'm going to right click. What we did to the nostril, if I do the same thing, when I move, you can see these loops for the most part are flowing into the face and around the mouth, and that's what you want. You want these loops to flow. Okay, so we want to go to Vertex Select. We have this geometry here, right? So I'm going to hold Control, go away from the center line purposely, because I'd rather set up the center line by positioning it. We have a decent amount of geometry here. Now we'll push this towards itself. I'm going to hold Control, press R, right? And what we want to do here is we have a bunch of geometry coming up from the nose, right? We want to lower this geometry down. One of the ways we can do that is I can click here. I'm going to right click. I'm doing this because there's a quad here. You see that, right? So when I select here, here's the face, right? This is important. So we have all this geometry. I didn't go here to start. I didn't go here. I went here, right? So I gave myself a decent amount of space. And what I'm going to do is, what I don't want is all of these lines having to run up into there. I want to lower things down so it matches up with this, right? So why I'm doing what I'm doing now, all right? So I'm going to click here, press E to extrude, and then push this towards itself, right? So, okay, so now that I did that, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to right click here as well. So now I'll hold Shift, select these faces, press F, right? Then I'll select here, press F, push this towards itself, select here, press F. Okay, that worked better than I thought it would. So actually what I can do is I don't need this, right? So I'll select here, press X, and then instead of choosing delete, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose dissolve edges, right? So I'll go here, select these 4 faces, and now this area is filled in. Okay, we're going to turn our attention to the mouth. So I'm going to grab these vertices here to get them on the face. We have a lot of vertices here. I'm going to hold Control, put a loop cut here. I'll hold Alt to select this entire loop. To look up here, we have 10 vertices, which is good. With this selected, we can even this out by right-clicking, selecting Zoom Tools, and then selecting Space. And that basically gives us even spacing on the vertices that we have selected. Okay, I'm going to hold them in the mouse button, go to the side. We're going to use that add-on where I select the vertice, I press F, and I get nice faces. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm doing this until I get to the end of the ear. Once I'm at the end of the ear, I'll select here, hold Control, hold the middle mouse button, rotate, hold Control, then I'll push that towards itself again. Okay, I'm going to press G to make sure that that snapped. I'm going to select here. I want 4 faces. So I'm going to hold Control, then press G. Whoops. Hold Control, press G. Hold Control, press G. Pressing G just to make sure this snaps. Hold Control, press G. Pull this away from itself. Push this towards itself. Go here. Press G. Now I want to hold Shift and then select F to fill in that area there. Okay, now we're going to look on the side of the head and see where we can see 4 faces. So we can get 4 here. So we'll press F. We can get 4 here. We'll press F there. This right here would mess us up. We'll put another loop cut. So now we can get 4 here. And then we can get 4 here, which is good. Okay, we'll look towards the back of the head. We'll go to Vertex Select. We'll click here. We'll press F. F. Typically when we do these things, we're doing what is the quickest while also working. So I'm still pressing F. There's multiple ways of doing what we're doing here. Okay, I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom in. What we're going to do here is click here, press F. Click here, press F. Pull this vert over like that. Hold Shift to select here, then press F to fill that in. Okay, I'm going to zoom back. I'm going to turn off snapping. I'm going to hold Alt, select here, go to View Global / Local. I'm going to press E to extrude, right click. Then I'm going to press S to scale this down. I'm then going to remember that snapping is turned off. I'm going to push this down. I'm going to go to the vertices. There we go. Here. Pull this back. I'm doing this so there's enough room so the neck can basically, fit under there. I'm going to hold the mouse button, rotate. We have a decent amount of space here, so I'm going to hold Control, press R, put a loop cut there. I'm going to hold Control, press R, put a loop cut there as well. I'm going to hold Control, press R, and then put a loop cut here as well. Okay, something else that we're going to want to do is we made this geometry for the nose. I want to pull this back some. So see how there's like this loop here? You actually want this going back we want this loop to basically go around the nostril here. I'm going to left click to, it's going to say try to deselect. It did deselect. Good. I'm going to zoom back. I'll hold Alt to select this whole loop here. I'm going to go to the smooth brush, drag that to smooth that out. Okay, I'm going to go to the transform orientation, change this from the default global to normal. I'm then going to press E to extrude, right click, go to the move tool, and then drag that out like that. Okay, for the neck, I'm going to hold Control. I'm going to put in 2 loop cuts. Now with that done, I'm going to add a shrink wrap modifier. Select, actually before doing that, I'm going to go to object mode with this selected. This is currently named plane. I'm going to rename this head Retoppo. Okay, I did that because I wanted to hide this. Then when I have to unhide everything, I'm going to select the head, hold Shift, select the body, and then I'm going to hold Control, press J to join the head to the body. I'm going to turn on the head Retoppo, select it, go to target, select the sphere. I could change that to main body, but that'll change the color. I don't want to do that. I'm going to go to wrap method, change this to project, and then select negative. Now I'm going to go to edit mode. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. We have the eye here. I'm going to hold Alt. Make sure we have the snapping turned off. I'm going to press E to extrude. Scale this eye in like this. Hold Control as well as the middle mouse button to zoom in. So now I'm adjusting the eye. I'm pulling the individual vertices. If this is causing you issues, one thing you can do is go here, select duplicate, go to object, apply the shrink wrap. Now go back, and we still have the shrink wrap right there on. Okay, I'm going to zoom back, and what we want to do is look for issues like this. Okay, so basically what's going on here is we have things like this, right? This we can push towards themselves. We have a bunch of vertices kind of jumbled up here, right? So what we're going to do is go to object mode. We'll duplicate this. We'll click apply. We'll go back to edit mode, right? Now we're going to go to view global / local. So I'll click here and rotate. So you can see these like bunched up here, right? So to deal with that, a lot of times what you can do is you can press C for paint select, right? Okay, I didn't, so I'll select it from this side, right? So now that I have those vertices selected, I can go to smooth, and then typically not all of the time, but smooth often can deal with those issues. I'm going to turn off this. You can see smooth like made things so we can actually see what's going on. So with this turned back on and with the vertices there, back to here, came back into global mode. So now we can select, we'll turn this transform orientation back to its default, which is global. We can push these vertices towards themselves. Still looks this right here. There we go. So I'm taking these vertices, pushing them towards each other. Multiple ways of doing it. I'm choosing to do that, do what I'm doing here. Okay. I'm going to zoom in. Still have the shrink wrap turned off. I'm going to hold Alt, select here, press E to extrude, press S to scale. Now when I push this, what you want to do is here, see how these edges are here? Don't push this in to cover up the lips. Push this in, this loop in, so you get the corners of the mouth. Once you have the corners of the mouth, I'll turn the shrink wrap back on. Okay, it's going to fight against me, so I'll turn this off. I'll turn snapping on instead. So I'm manually pulling these verts in. Oh, I see. Moving kind of funny. It's because I was working with the mirrored, I guess. Over here, this is the actual geometry, as in the mirrored geometry. Mirror makes geometry for you, so to say. So this side is like the real geometry. The other side isn't. Is basically what I'm getting at. All right, so once you have that, we're going to hold Control, put a loop cut like that in there. Okay, I'm going to zoom back. Try to turn the shrink wrap back on. Okay, we're going to go to object mode, duplicate this, apply it. I tend to do that because I don't want to deal with particular issues. We're also going to add a smooth modifier. For the smooth modifier, it is here, right? The factor is 0.5. I almost always change this to 1 because I think it's easier to deal with. I'll click this and turn this off. Typically, you can see very quickly how much better things look with the smooth modifier. Sometimes I'll take that up. Because this is being applied before the shrink wrap, let's try, see what happens. Much better. I'm going to turn this temporarily off. I'm actually going to take this off apply all of those because I wanted that to remain how it was. Oops. See this? It says applied failed for head retopo. Oh, we need to go to object mode. There we go. We'll add the mirror modifier back on. Go back to edit mode. We have this. Push this. Strange how it's doing that. Oh, you know why it's doing that? Because it's snapping. Okay. You need to turn on clipping. And with that makes things fairly easy. Not. And yeah, the smooth tends to make your geometry look a lot better. Okay, what we're going to do now is go to object mode. We have our mesh selected. We're going to hold shift, select our body mesh, hold control, then press J. So now those are one mesh together, the head retopology as well as the body retopology. Okay, we're going to go to edit mode, look towards the neck, zoom in towards it, go to view global / local. I'm going to select near the face, select view selected to quickly zoom in, zoom back, go towards here, make sure we're on vertex, select, and then select this. Even if we select not the right area, like around vertices that aren't directly involved, we can select here and pretty much have that fixed. This strangeness here, we'll go to the move tool, left click to deselect. Okay, we want to see how many vertices we have for the neck. So I'm holding Alt, selecting here. There's 12, right? For the body, there's 21, right? So this is only half because the mirror is making, double that. So this gives us an idea of what we're working with. We'll go towards the back. I'll left click to deselect. Okay, we're going to go towards the front. We're going to select here, hold shift, then select there, then press F. So we have this front part here connected. We're going to go to right where the ear's at. We're going to click here as well as here as well as here. We're going to make sure that's not connected in front. We're going to hold Control, press E, then select Bridge Edge Loops. We're going to go to the back, select there as well as there, then press F. The loops that I'm about to put in, I'm just doing what looks good. So I'm going to put in 4 loop cuts here. There's 4. I'm going to go here, Control R. That's what I did last time to put the loop cuts in, 4. And then for the front, I'm going to put in 3. Retopology can be done numerous ways, depending on what you're going for. I think I said at the beginning of this tutorial that I tend to do a lot of different jobs as far as 3D. So this is a fast way to do this. You have the connection in the front, connection to the side, connection to the back. And what you can do here, if you're going for speed, is to let Blender fill this in for you. So I selected here. I see here that there's 22 vertices. So what I can do is hold Control, press F, and then select Grid Fill. Blender fills that in for me. I'm going to hold Alt to select here. There's 20. That's even geometry. So I'm going to hold Control, press, Control F, and I let Blender fill in that geometry for me. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in the shrink wrap modifier. Turn on the shrink wrap. I'll left click to deselect. I'm going to duplicate, go to object mode, apply the 1, go back to edit mode. Okay, what we're going to do is look at our geometry. There's a lot of space here, so we'll hold Control R. We'll put a loop cut right there. Geometry here as well. Control R. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add a shrink wrap modifier, not shrink wrap, sorry, smooth modifier in. Smooth modifier, I turn this to 1. Feels like I have a lot better control. I'm going to turn this to 2. I'm going to bring this up above the shrink wrap modifier. Taking a look, be aware that with the smooth, like your eyes, the nose, most likely has to be adjusted because of the smooth modifier being on there. Okay, I want these modifiers to be applied. I'm going to turn off take away the smooth. Actually, I'm going to go to object mode. I'm going to apply these. I'm going to bring the mirror modifier right back. Turn that on, turn on clipping. Now I'm going to go right back to edit mode. I'm going to hold Alt, select here. That selects the entire loop in the center. I'm going to push this geometry towards itself. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to zoom in, hold Shift and the middle mouse button to pan. We're looking at the retopology of the ear here. Okay, what we're going to do is make sure we're on edge select. We are. We're going to press E to extrude. Bring this out like this. I'm going to hold Control, press R to put a loop cut. And I take this edge here. I'm going to hold Control, right? See this here? See how that is there? I'm now looking here, clicking, thinking about that, clicking here, thinking about that, clicking here, here. Basically looking at that as I go. Moving these so that I'm trying to go right along this shape of the ear. Typically with making ear, you would talk about that as being the hook. So this here, that there, that there. That there, this here. Okay, I want to match up these with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, I'll go to here. Select these, press F. Select these, press F. When I was using the F add-on to fill this in, it's getting an error. So if you're wondering like why am I doing that, that's why. Doing this. I'm going to turn on snapping. I'm going to go to phase select. I'm going to select here, press G, press G. Press G. I'm pressing G to get this to snap. That's why I'm pressing G. I'm going to go to edge select here. Select here. Press F to fill that in. I'll select here. Press F to fill that in. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to rotate. I'm going to turn off snapping. Hold Control. Press R. Put a loop cut in. I'm going to turn snapping on, press G where I want this to snap, go to vertex select. Now when I click and drag, it'll snap pretty much automatically. I'm going to right click here, or left click. Right click to put a vertex there. I'll select here, 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 press F to fill that. I'm going to select here as well as here, then press F to fill in between that. Okay, I'm going to hold Control. I'm going to put 2 loop cuts here. I'm going to hold Alt, select there, hold Control, press F, select Grid Fill. Go to the Grid Fill menu, bring this back to 1 to 4. One of the things about the ears is they don't move that much. With this space right here, kind of difficult to have this be very nice. Like I said, the ear doesn't move that much. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold Alt, make sure we're on Edge select here, hold Control, press F, select Grid Fill. You can manipulate the span as well as the offset. That's decent for what I want. What we're going to do now is we're going to hold Control. We'll go to Face select here. We're going to press E to extrude, right click, and then press S to scale this in. I'm going to left click to deselect. Okay, we're going to bring in a shrink wrap modifier. Select our mesh. We'll go to Project, select negative, duplicate this, go to Object Mode, apply the one shrink wrap, and then turn the other one off. Go back to Edit Mode. Okay, what we're going to do now is when we look at the ear, right? See, this is like the ear is like kind of going in. We're going to go to Vertex Select. We have snapping on. So we're dragging these points to basically help the shape of the ear. Pull these in closer to the bottom of the ear. Sorry about that. Okay, we're going to zoom back. We're going to turn off snapping, go to object mode. We have most of our topology done except for the hands. We're going to hold Shift, press D to duplicate, right click. We're then going to press M to bring up a new, move to collection menu. Select new collection. We'll select OK. We're going to go to this. This is just a backup I like to have. What we're going to do now is we're going to add in a subdivision surface. We'll bring that above the shrink wrap. We're going to take this up to 4, right? Let's go to edit mode. So what you're going to want to do here is things like the nose, and we can turn this subdivision down. Adjust the nose. The nose particularly is important. Drag this back here. Drag this back. Like these loops, you want them to be, for the most part, like making up the nostril. Turned on snapping so that they would snap. Go to press G to, there we go, to get them to come back. G, G. Be careful of this here. As far as seeing everything's turned on. Take a look at your eyes. Make sure that your eyes are very similar to the other stuff. So you can use your move tool to help. If you don't want to drag directly, I'm going to turn off snapping since it's making it more difficult than it has to be. All right, so we have our backup, right? This is our duplicate, remember, right? So what we're going to do, we really don't have to be concerned about this because this is our duplicate. And let me show you what this looks like. So we need the sphere. Okay, so we're selected on the sphere now. Sphere is our main body. We'll hide that, right? So this is what we'll right click on this. Oops, select shade smooth. So this is what our geometry looks like. I'm going to go here, turn off this wireframe. So this is what things look like now, right? If we take this up to our subdivision up, now we have this. We're going to zoom back. We can see that there's an issue here. We'll go to edit mode. I'm going to select here. I'm going to hold control for the shortest path. Pull this. Sometimes you have to push and pull. Push this towards itself. Push towards itself. Push towards itself. I'm going to select here. Hold control, shortest path technique. Try pulling this actually. Nope, that didn't work. Pushed. Oops. Pull it back. Select here. Moving slow because of all of our modifier stuff. Alright, so with all of that stuff, let's see right here. Okay, so with that stuff done, we'll go back to object mode. And what we want to do with this selected, so you're going to go to object. Even though it's already a mesh, right? This is important. You're going to go to convert. You're going to select mesh. The reason why we did that applied all the modifiers, right? So because we did that, what we can do is now we can go to a multi-resolution modifier, right? We'll go to generate, and then we'll select rebuild subdivisions. And now what this does is this gives us back our levels that we previously had. And what's nice about this is we can go down all the way to our original geometry, and then we can come right back up again. So I just brought our sphere back. I'll hide that again. So you can click the square, go to wireframe, kind of see how the topology is. Not kind to see how it is, you can see how it actually is. Okay guys, that's it for the tutorial. My plan is to come back and show how to do the hand retopology. For all of those of you out there who like the videos on this channel and we share them and like them, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And for those of you that are new to this channel, if you like the videos on this channel, you would like to see more, please subscribe and thank you for viewing.